there, I'm Lisa Doyle at Rockcliff Realtors. So I wanted to give you guys some information. I've had clients this last week or two, several, ask me questions about taking a tax base from where we are. Well, here we are in Contra Costa County and we work part of Alameda County. What if you were to sell a house that you've owned for 30 years? And of course your tax base is significantly lower than it would be today. So someone who's owned a house that long, they're concerned about my tax, even if I downsize, my taxes will go substantially higher. So we actually have a special program. There's two actually. One called Proposition 60, which is basically if you live in Contra Costa County, you can take this house that you now own, where maybe your tax base is $500,000, and now it's going to sell for 1.8. But you want to downsize maybe to $1 million home, for example. So a lot of people who've owned a house this many years struggle with that extra tax that they would pay from purchasing at $500,000 to now purchasing $1 million. So what Proposition 60 allows you to do inside of our county is take that base with you one time after you're 55, which means then you get to go along, pay the same amount of tax that you currently do now, excuse me, and then you get into that house that's actually a downsize for you and you can afford to do that. So this is a benefit. So there's another proposition that's been effective for us called Proposition 90, and I'm going to explain to you what that is right now. And basically what 90 allows us to do is take our tax base from Contra Costa County into 10 other counties where you can do that same benefit. After 55, one time, take the base with you, which allows someone who's been in a house forever, maybe they live here in Danville or 680 Corridor, Walnut Creek, and they want to move down to Southern California to be near their grandchildren, but you couldn't do it. If you couldn't afford to do it, then it would keep you stuck here in this big house. So here's what we can do. So Proposition 90 allows you to sell here in Contra Costa County and go into these 9 counties. So it's Alameda County, Los Angeles County, Orange County, Riverside County, San Bernardino, San Diego, San Mateo, Santa Clara, the Tuolumne County, and Ventura County. So those are the 10 counties that are approved right now. But it's interesting, even about 2 years ago, they actually removed Alameda County off the list, and now it's been added back. So just know, before you make a move, double check to make sure that the counties that you want to go to are still on the list. They do change it from time to time. And so there's one last thing that I want to share with everyone, and this is super important about ballot issues that are most likely coming up here in November when we vote. So 2 years ago when we were doing our midterm elections, they actually put a proposition onto our ballot that was called Proposition 5, which would have allowed us to do this tax-based transfer anywhere in our state. And anyone could take a house they've owned forever because they're trapped, kind of like you're trapped in that big house and you want to downsize, but you couldn't afford to do it. They were allowing, that proposition would have allowed us to go anywhere in the state. Unfortunately, back then it did not pass. It was called Proposition 5. What we have heard is there's going to be a similar proposition back on the ballot in November. And if that's the case, watch for it, because it should have passed back when it didn't. I think that they didn't explain it properly. People weren't really understanding that it's not going to limit the tax for the schools. It's just going to move it around. Like for instance, an older family who's owned a house for 35 years here in our area would sell a house, and they've been paying our Prop 13 tax, which is super low. Now they're going to move on, and a young family is going to come in and they're going to be paying more tax. So it's not like our schools will be suffering from tax, like losing tax dollar. It just means that the older person can now move on to be with their family. So keep that in mind. Watch the ballots. As soon as we find out what this proposition is called, cross your fingers that they actually add it to the ballot. We'll let you know, so that way you know to watch for it. But if you guys have any questions about how to take your tax base from where we are here into your new home that you want to move to, let me know. Feel free to call me anytime. My name's Lisa Doyle. I work with Rockcliff Realtors, and I am so excited to see you soon. Stay well, stay healthy, and stay cool. See you soon.